At Invercargill, where the scene is set for a big day of racing. Jason Tees will be describing the action for us. You must be looking forward to what's set up there, Jason.
Yeah, hi Jason, a very good morning to you, and welcome along to Invercargill. It's Invercargill's biggest day of the year in terms of a galloping action down here. Huge Christmas at the races, set up tents literally everywhere, people rolling into the track already, so yeah, it's going to be a huge day. I think our fields have stacked up really well as well, with some good quality horses. Some of the best horses trained down this way are here, so I think our racing is going to be first class all day long. In terms of the weather, it's pretty overcast at the moment overhead. It's not supposed to rain, there's a bit of wind at the moment. Hopefully that wind doesn't drop. If it does, we might be in trouble, but here's hoping it stays away. The track's come up as a good 3. I think it's a genuine good 3 down the back from about the 1400 round to about the 600. It's where they've just redone the track in the last couple of years. There is Given It up the home straight. I was out there with David Walsh, and his stick just goes in, just a little way. So I think there is definitely give in the track. So it should suit all horses that do cope on dead and slow conditions as well. So no, we're all set up for the day, and I'm really looking forward to seeing horses like the Precious One here, Jason, who I've made my bet of the day, but $1.70 is getting on the short side.
Okay, we'll start with the preview for race number 5, races 5, 6 and 7 on TPL Live this morning. And the market has the Precious One at $1.70, $4.50 residential, and Ride It Like You Stole It at $8. Stephen Hunt, is it all about the Precious One money-wise here?
There's 2 horses they like, Jace. Obviously the favourite, number 5, the Precious One. $1.75 when betting commenced on Thursday, now into $1.70. Multis in progress, a tick over 300. The next best is Residential in that second line of betting with 12 multis running through. So, look, she's going to start the shortest priced favourite up and down the card today at Ascot over the 9 races, the 4-year-old mare by Darcy Brummer. But they do like Residential at $4.50 off a peak of $5.20 earlier in the week, Jason. So, look, Residential, definite saver if you're looking at exotic bet types around the Precious One come race 5 today at Ascot.
Multis in progress, a huge tell there, 300 compared with 12 residential. The Precious One v residential. How about how this race shapes up? Here is the Form Pro speed map with the Gordonian and residential shape to go forward. How did you read this race, Jason Tees?
Well, it's interesting really, Jason. I kind of expected Ride It Like You Stole It to be pretty prominent today. Of course, the horse was ridden back at Cromwell, and it proved to be to its detriment. Ended up hitting the line really strongly. Residential's gone well here on the course before. That's something we need to take out of this race. And that Residential, of course, a very good 3-year-old filly. She managed to win the Southland Guineas here. This is a bit of a horses for courses track, and I think if anything that is going to trip up the Precious One today, it will be the fact that she runs on this circuit. You have to be getting going a long way from home. If you sit and wait too close to the turn, you're not going to be able to pick them up. But there's no doubt she's the quality horse in the race. Look, I'm not convinced that Residential is going anywhere near as good as she could have as a 3-year-old, say, but she does loom as one of the main dangers. We'll go back and have a look at the Precious One's last start. It was behind Kiwi Ida. She ran second this day. She fought on just so well once she got into the clear, and it was just a good mare that Kiwi Ida was able to run her down, and we've since seen Kiwi Ida come out and win again in phenomenal circumstances at Cromwell.
Downs, and it's Kiwi Ida, way too good. Kiwi Ida has beaten home the Precious One, and Ride It Like You Stole It.
I guess out of that, are we worried about the 1600 metres? I know Claire Anderton's not. We'll speak to her a little bit later on in the day, but yeah, that would be a question mark for me as well. A really hard mile. It depends who leads. I guess if the speed map is correct, then there might be a little bit of pace in the race, but don't be surprised if maybe Ride It Like You Stole It jumps and races on speed today, because that will be the best chance that it has. But very hard to tip against the Precious One, and hence I've made it my bet of the day. But I do have plenty of respect around Residential, and also Ride It Like You Stole It, Jason.
The AWS Illegal Southland Crystals is the next on the program. It's over the 2150 metres. This is how the market shapes up. Who Dares wins, $3.60, $4.40 for Gallant Boy. Come Fly With Me, $6.50. And you've got D&G also at that price. Can you give us any leads here, Stephen?
There's a decent lead, Jace. It's around the favourite number 2, Who Dares wins. $4.80 opening line. Now that's a little bit misleading. The fact that Princess Brooke was a $6 chance during the week, but came out this morning a 13% deduction. Take note, punters. But post that scratching has been the best back runner and clear lead. Who Dares Wins at a $3.60 price, holds around about 70% of total turnover. Look, the race doesn't lack huge turnover thus far, but yeah, look, Who Dares Wins looks to be sense of timing on the back of a nice second last start. That's your decent lead in race 6 today over the 2-1 journey.
Certainly you're trying to ascertain the form of Who Dares Wins, because he's run very well in the past. Maybe went through a little bit of a flat period around October where expectation or his performance maybe didn't reach expectation, because what he was doing sort of this time last year was very, very good. Who Dares Wins. Come Fly With Me and Shantav are met to go forward here. Did note that they rode Who Dares Wins positively, Jason Tees, last time when the horse lined up at Cromwell. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting pretty much the same again. Obviously, Come Fly With Me will be the pace in the race. There's no way they're going to change her tactics. She runs very well on this track as well. She's going to be a mare that's awfully hard to run down here. They will ride Gallant Boy a lot more positive than last time. I talked to Brian Anderton yesterday, and Brian was very, very disappointed with the ride last time. They did want him to get back but not sit last, and his run was phenomenal up the home straight. We'll go back and have a look at the replay of that Queenstown Cup at Cromwell, and it does feature the 3 leading players here. Of course, Kaharau won it, but Who Dares Wins was second. Third was Come Fly With Me, and Gallant Boy was seen to be making very, very good ground up into 6th position. We see Gallant Boy had to come wide. Tough to do on that day. And Come Fly With Me up against the rail, and the other horse Who Dares Wins there in the grey colours, about 3 off the rail.
Goes to the lead on the inside. Come Fly With Me, but Kaharau wins the race again. Kaharau beat a photo. Who Dares Wins and Come Fly With Me.
I do like Who Dares Wins. Look, I think the run of the race that day was definitely Gallant Boy, and I think he's going to be a big chance in the race. I note there's been some moving on him from $4.80 into $4.40, and as much as I do like Who Dares Wins, I think my bet in the race would be Gallant Boy each way. He runs well on this track. As I've said before, it's a horses for courses circuit here, and Who Dares Wins hasn't been here before. If they do ride him up outside speed, I think it'll offset been on here on this track, but still very, very keen on Gallant Boy. Who Dares Wins, Come Fly With Me. Best of the others would be Noman Ludi, but I think we'll stay with the top of the page here, Jason, and the proven performers in the feature, the Southland Crystals today.
Yeah, it's a huge run there by Gallant Boy, just a very niggly barrier draw. So if it is ridden forward by Corey Campbell's just going to have to do a bit of work. Interesting race, that one. Race number 7, this is how things stack up for the Go Racing Handicap, which sees Johnny Jones $3.70. This the open sprint. We've got Tommy Tucker resuming. Corey Campbell suggested that it's going to be 1 or 2 runs at least before you can climb into Tommy Tucker. His record also suggests that. Kingpin at 6 and Feeling the Love $7.50. Again, Stephen Hunt, money leads.
Johnny Jones' best lead I can give in early trading, Jason. $3.70 off a peak of $4. A lot of that action has occurred this morning in the last hour or two around Johnny Jones. Tommy Tucker, interesting to hear the thoughts around Corey Campbell and this horse resuming. One of its 16 wins has been on the back of a 90-day spell. Hasn't raced since April, but has been a mover $6 into $5.50. So a little bit misleading which way you want to go around Tommy Tucker. Do you go with the proven paper form or money speaking around Tommy Tucker? Kingpin has been friendless, $5 out to 6 in that third line of betting. And Nightcap, probably the second best back runner outside Johnny Jones. Nightcap, rock solid in that fourth line of betting at $7.
Okay, yeah, interesting money moves there for sure. Good to get those thoughts. How about the map? This is how Form Pro has shaped it up with Nightcap, Pasito and Accidental Offside. Gee, Nightcap had to work hard before getting into a little bit of trouble in the straight last start, Jason.
Yeah, she did. She has pulled up 100% from that, I hear. I'm going to talk to Robert Dennis a little bit later on to just get it straight from the horse's mouth. But she did falter. You could clearly see that on the video, but apparently she's A-OK, and she was eased out of the race, as we know. She will go close to leading here. I am a little bit shocked to see Tommy Tucker so short in the market. He's had 11 starts over the 1,200 metres, and he's never won. A horse with a record like him, it is maybe a little surprising, but he is certainly better once the distances get longer. I'm loath to say he can't win, but I am very, very tempted to say that today. We'll take a look at Johnny Jones. He's on the quick backup. We saw horses yesterday at Wingatui racing very well after running at Riccarton last Friday. And look, it took a Group 1 Telegraph winner in Enzo's Lad to run Johnny Jones down this day. Here he is in front on the inside. We see Enzo's Lad jogging up to him. Once it got into the clear, but a very good performance by Johnny Jones, and Rahul Biharri's 3 kilo claim is going to be dynamite here.
Enzo's Lad nearer to the outside. They have it between them. Enzo's Lad is the leader over Johnny Jones, and Enzo's Lad is the winner over Johnny Jones. Fly time third, fourth in He Can Fly, then Fairlight, Zarista, Valley Bay.
Yeah, not bad, is it? Been beaten about 3/4 of a length by a Group 1 winner at your last start. So certainly Johnny Jones, a big must-have in this one. Kingpin, now, I could have shown you the accidental offside run from here at the last meeting, but I was quite taken by Kingpin's run. As you can see, he's got the baldy white face. He's locked away back on the rail. And there was a little bit of tightening in this race just before that. And you would have thought he'd get out here, but unfortunately, Kin Quo couldn't get him out, and he's gone to the line pretty much full of running.
It sits front, Nowhere Man. Pippi Ray on the inside, fights back. Maybe Nowhere Man over Pippi Ray, but there's only a nose between them again. Third Eye Shink Tat will do a big run. Feeling the loves in the photo.
Yeah, he's going to be right in this Kingpin. I think he's the value in the race, given how unlucky he was last time. I thought it was going to work out perfectly prior to that for the horse, but he just could not quite get out. I like the fact that Gossinger Goose picked up the ride today, slightly more experienced rider, and I think Kingpin will get a lovely trip today. He's very good on this course, 6 starts for 5 placings. So in summary, I think Johnny Jones and Kingpin are the two. Will accidental offside strip as fresh as he did here last time out, but tactics will be the same, even with a change of rider and Lee Callaway picking up the ride. They will endeavour to ride him up the front yet again. And Nightcap, obviously, if she's 100%, should be thereabouts too. In terms of my suggested bets today, I'm an old school type of guy, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to chuck out a multi for you, and start off though with a win bet in terms of the Precious One. Just a $40 win bet. Obviously, I'm given $100 to spend, so it's big money for us country boys. Gallant Boy each way, 20 each way. I think he's a great chance at $4 plus, and the multi works out to be just under $500. Moss Jazz to win at $3 in race number 2. I think he's a horse that just had too much early pressure last time. Today, he should get his own rules in front. The Precious One, yes, to win at $1.70. Hopefully take the shorts, and Tahuti's wins, and Super Twister in race 8. This horse is at $2.90 a place. Won at the Invercargill Cup meeting earlier in the year. Again, has a good record on the course and in a very even race. I think Super Twister was overs in that particular race. So keeping it pretty simple, Jason. Obviously hoping that the Precious One can do the job, and that'll build the bank for when we hit Gallant Boy, and hopefully that multi works its way through the day. Looking forward to our 9 race card. We're underway at 17 minutes past 12 o'clock.